This is going to be a tough one. Disco Elysium is a lot, and so it may require several videos to unpack all of this. But here we go. In the world of art and creation, be that paintings or books or movies, there have been times where groups of people have felt the need to ban certain material. Ban something means that censorship is not enough. The production, distribution, and consumption of the material must be mitigated or stopped entirely in order to cease the spread of dangerous information. Now, dangerous information is entirely subjective as it could range from opposing political ideologies to lewd and graphic scenery. However, much like the story of Adam and Eve, forbidden knowledge is incredibly enticing to our minds, and banned content can still be highly regarded and praised for exploring new and abnormal concepts. So, can video games be banned? Absolutely. Banning things depends a lot on where you live and who's in charge. In the US and Canada, we have the ESRB rating system for age restricting popular video games, and there is a list of banned video games on Wikipedia. However, a banned video game is usually just some extremely violent misery pornography or just, normal pornography. Either way, we simply don't consider a banned video game to be as praiseworthy or enticing as banned material in other artistic mediums. After all, what ideas, if not violence and porn, would be considered dangerous by gamers themselves? Let's talk about Disco Elysium. It's a video game set in a world similar to our own, but with slightly different technology, geography, and history. You are a unique individual in this world who is given the task of investigating a local murder. Most of the game is in fact talking, either to other people or to yourself, in order to gather clues. You are also provided with skill checks, very much like a tabletop role-playing game, such that utilizing a certain skill in a given circumstance has a chance of making something happen, usually good, but sometimes not as good as you'd hope. The better you make the skill, the better the odds of success. Now, the reason why I'm bringing up Disco Elysium is because I believe it fits the qualities of being a banned video game with all the honors and privileges therein. Why? In a word, failure. Video games contain challenges of varying degrees, and failure acts as a temporary detour from the main objective whenever you make a big enough mistake. The cliche is a game over screen, followed by the reloading of a save or respawning at a checkpoint, basically pretending like the failure never happened. Other games come up with clever ideas to utilize failures, such as unlocking something to help the player in the long term, or otherwise redirecting the player to help them get back on track, sometimes with a loss of resources. Disco Elysium is a whole other can of worms. Every skill level is susceptible to failure, and when you do fail, the game will rub your nose in your own failure because you are a pathetic, worthless shell of a man. And then, the game just keeps going with your failure. There is no going back. There is no eventual redemption. The story goes on with your failure, all while reinforcing your character's self-image as a depressed addict. This concept of holding on to your failure forever is blasphemous to us gamers, and we no doubt will seek to reload the save or find some means of undoing the failure. This is because an essential element of video games is success, to overcome challenges all for the sake of progress. No success means no playing the game. And yet, Disco Elysium defies this commandment by showing us progress with failure. We continue on with the game not because our failure somehow turned into a success, but because the world goes on with our failure, and we have no choice but to continue on with it. And that is why this game needs to be banned from gamers. It's too fucking real. Some of us claim the purpose of gaming is to escape, take our minds off of our harsh realities, to escape into worlds where things are just a bit more simpler and forgiving. Games allow us that achievement, that ability to keep on trying and trying until we eventually succeed. That is, fundamentally, how we treat video games, a series of challenges that let us try and try again. That is not reality. Out here, things are permanent. When we apply ourselves, be it our careers or relationships, we typically get one, maybe two, maybe three attempts to get what we want, and then that's it. No going back. We can't just keep on trying until we get what we want because opportunities to apply ourselves pass. When they do, we can only live with our failure, a heretical statement to our gamer way of life, the antithesis to the eternal try of video games, knowledge that must not exist if video games are to continue to be our escape, our entertainment, our peace, our paradise. But, for those who dare, for those brave, bold souls who venture into the banned section, seek out that failure, we discover the knowledge that lets us keep going. It is not easy, and it does not feel good, but exposing ourselves to video game failure helps. We become better equipped to handle our reality. In Disco Elysium, we see that failure is not all that bad. There are different paths to achieving a goal. Failure is not all our fault. Our actions resort to a roll of the dice. Lastly, failure is definitely not a reason to give up. The game keeps running even after we fail catastrophically. Life moves on. Disco Elysium shows us it is possible to move on with it. But a warning. When you overcome your fear of failure, when you realize all your desires exist only in madness, when you begin to take risks because of your newfound courage, you may accidentally destroy your life. So please be very careful. The dangerous information in Disco Elysium is still dangerous. Disco Elysium also explores the human psyche incredibly well. Our minds are complex, unknown, and bewildering things, and to emphasize this, the game categorizes your skills as a series of inner voices, each with their own motives and manner of speaking. With these voices, the game frequently showcases how our psychology constantly affects our perspective, such that the information we gather depends entirely on the type of person we're trying to become. Even more, we see just how fragile our mental states truly are. We see how easy it is to succumb to our debilitating coping mechanism, and we see how too much failure can unravel our mental health and send us spiraling into a bleak well of despair until, at the very bottom, oblivion. Disco Elysium is a great game, one that explores mental health incredibly well by not shying away from the brutal, self-loathing, vague, complex, and ridiculous elements of the human mind. What's more is that the game dares to get political, often placing you in ambiguous circumstances only to then directly ask for your opinion on the matter just for the sake of categorization. Will you end up a capitalist hustler, a naive moralist, a communist in all but word alone, or maybe all of the above? In conclusion, it is because of this game's heretical understanding of failure along with its emphasis on the flaws and fragility of the human psyche that I must both highly recommend and ban Disco Elysium. Do not play this game. On a final note, no other form of art can compare to video games in their ability to personalize and explore mental illness and a catharsis of living with our own failures. Exploring failure is why Disco Elysium is a true banned video game. Thanks for watching, and now to appease the algorithm, please subscribe, comment, and like if you enjoyed this video. Maybe even sacrifice their firstborn child. Whatever will help. Thanks.